Well, folks, the Timberwolves finally remembered they're not in the forest chasing squirrels, but on the court chasing that championship. Like and subscribe to the channel. In a turn of events that could make a grown wolf cry, the Minnesota Timberwolves, with all their grit and gusto, have swept the Phoenix Suns right off their feet. Not since the days of yore, or rather 20 years ago, have we seen the Timberwolves baring their fangs in the playoffs with such ferocity. Now let's talk about Anthony Edwards. The lad was on fire, dropping a whopping 40 points on the Suns, 31 of those in the second half alone. If that doesn't make you howl in awe, I don't know what will. And let's not forget Karl-Anthony Towns, adding a cool 28 points to the scoreboard. Together, they were like a couple of wolves on a full moon night, unstoppable and in full control. You'd think the Suns, with their blazing Devin Booker scoring 49 points, would have been able to outshine the Timberwolves. But alas, it seems the Suns got eclipsed, and the Timberwolves' night was just beginning. In the midst of all the action, there was a bit of a hiccup. Coach Chris Finch had to leave the game with a knee injury. But worry not, assistant coach Micah Nori stepped up to the plate, guiding the Pack to their first playoff series win in 2 decades. Talk about stepping out of the shadows. In the past, the Timberwolves might have been chasing their tails, but this time around, they were the ones being chased. Their sudden turnaround was nothing short of a fairy tale, a Cinderella story of the NBA, if you will. From the underdogs to the top dogs, the Timberwolves have certainly left their mark. And so, the Timberwolves emerge from the game not with their tails between their legs, but with a victory howl that echoed all the way to Phoenix. Meanwhile, the Suns seem to have forgotten they're a basketball team and not an actual celestial body. They sure did disappear in the fourth quarter. Now, we all know the Phoenix Suns for their fiery performances, but this time, it seemed like they traded their fire for a little bit of moonlight. That's right, folks. The Suns weren't shining so bright in the face of the Timberwolves' attack. You'd think with a name like Devin Booker, he'd be writing the book on winning. But alas, even his impressive 49-point performance couldn't save the Suns from a total eclipse. It was as if the Suns, like Icarus, flew too close to the sun. Or in this case, the Timberwolves. Talk about a plot twist. And let's not forget the moment when the Suns' light started to flicker. You could almost hear the collective gasp from the crowd as the Timberwolves began to close in. It was a sight to behold, like watching a lunar eclipse, but with more dribbling and less science. But hey, let's not be too harsh on our solar squad. After all, every dog has its day, and this time it was the Timberwolves who were howling at the moon. Maybe the Suns were just giving us a lesson in astronomy. Even the brightest star can be overshadowed. On a more serious note, our thoughts go out to the Suns. It's never easy to have your dreams eclipsed, especially when you've got a pack of hungry Timberwolves on your tail. But that's the beauty of basketball, isn't it? One moment you're on top of the world, the next you're back at square one, plotting your comeback. So, the Suns set on their playoff dreams, extinguished by a pack of overachieving Timberwolves. But remember, folks, the sun always rises again. And when it does, you better believe it'll be ready to shine brighter than ever. Until then, let's enjoy the glow of the Timberwolves' victory, shall we? In a plot twist straight out of a soap opera, head coach Chris Finch swaps the court for crutches. Now, you might be wondering, how did this happen? Well, let's just say Finch was so passionate about his team's performance that he literally put a knee into it. Chris Finch, the man, the myth, the legend, decided to add a new twist to the game. While his players were out there dodging opponents, Finch was busy dodging his own knee. Now, we all know the perils of the court, but who knew that coaching could be a high-risk job too? Maybe Finch was trying to demonstrate a new defensive move, or perhaps he was just so excited about the Timberwolves' performance that he started doing victory laps too early. Either way, it seems like Finch took the idea of taking one for the team a bit too literally. Like and subscribe to the channel. But don't worry, folks, the game didn't stop there. Assistant coach Micah Nori took over the reins, ensuring that the Timberwolves' howl didn't miss a beat. It's like they say, the show must go on, even if the coach is on crutches. And let's not forget about the Timberwolves. They didn't let their coach's unexpected exit slow them down. Instead, they used it as fuel, sweeping the Suns and proving that they're a force to be reckoned with. Now that's what we call team spirit. In all seriousness, though, we wish Coach Finch a speedy recovery. After all, basketball isn't quite the same without his strategic genius and fiery passion. And who knows, maybe this experience will add a new, literal meaning to the phrase, break a leg, in the basketball world. So here's to Chris Finch, proving that coaching can be a contact sport too. With the Suns out of the way, The Timberwolves are sniffing around for their next opponent. And oh boy, the possibilities are as tantalizing as a free throw with no time left on the clock. There's the Los Angeles Clippers, who just about survived a comeback from the Dallas Mavericks. Now imagine the Timberwolves in the mix. With Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns, they could have the Clippers slipping and sliding all over the court. It'd be like watching a toddler trying to hold on to a bar of soap. Then, there's the New York Knicks, who are inching ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers. But let's be real here. If the Timberwolves were to face the Knicks, it would be less of a basketball game and more of a wolf pack chasing down a bunch of city slickers who've lost their way in the woods. And let's not forget the Indiana Pacers. They might have a lead over the Milwaukee Bucks, but the Timberwolves have shown they can run with the big dogs. If the Pacers think they've got a shot, they might find themselves playing fetch with a pack of Timberwolves instead. But hey, let's not count out the underdogs. The Cleveland Cavaliers are battling the Orlando Magic, and who knows, maybe they'll pull a rabbit out of the hat. But against the Timberwolves, they'd probably need a whole warren of rabbits and a little bit of that old-school LeBron magic. Of course, all this is just speculation. The Timberwolves could face any of these teams or someone else entirely. But one thing's for sure, they're not just playing, they're hunting. And they're hungry for more than just a win. They're hungry for respect, for recognition, for the chance to show that they're not just the underdogs, they're the top dogs. Whoever they face next, let's hope the Timberwolves remember to bring this newfound ferocity with them. In other news, basketball games were played, points were scored, and fans were either elated or devastated. Let's take a quick jaunt around the league, shall we? Over in the City of Angels, the Clippers have managed to tie their series with the Mavericks after narrowly escaping a heart-stopping comeback. Talk about a cliffhanger. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks, not to be outdone, have taken a commanding lead over the 76ers, thanks to Jalen Brunson's whopping 47 points. Now that's what I call a slam dunk performance. In the land of the Hoosiers, the Pacers have the Bucks by the horns with a 3-1 series lead. And let's not forget about the Cavaliers and the Magic, who are gearing up for a magical showdown in their Game 4. And there you have it, folks. Another day in the unpredictable, unforgiving, and utterly entertaining world of basketball. Until next time, keep your eyes on the ball and your popcorn at the ready. Like and subscribe to the channel.